And I was
There we go.
All right. Okay, folks, we are ready to get started here. So I want to welcome everyone this evening. And it looks like we have our outstanding fire department with us, too. So we are very pleased to be able to have you attend tonight and your upcoming presentation, too. With that, would you like to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mary, roll call.
Olson. Collins.
Here.
Kellum.
Here.
Kopsinski.
Here.
Coburn.
Here.
And Olson and Collins are excused. Okay, first then on the agendas, we do have a couple very special presentation. And one is, first is our fire department unit citation. Chief.
Well, thank you, Mayor Canopa. My name is John Bradner, and I'm the fire chief for the Albany Fire Department. And I'm honored this evening to recognize Sea Shift for a water rescue event that they participated in on January 20th of 2016 with a unit citation. And a unit citation is awarded in recognition of a company, team, or division that overcame adverse conditions as a team to uphold the fire department's mission of preventing and protecting from harm. So in just 12 short minutes, crews from 3 of our fire stations were dispatched on a individual in the water, a person that had fallen from the Bryant Street Bridge, and they were able to mobilize together down at Taquina Boat Landing in North Albany, launch the boat, and find the victim and perform a water rescue. And I figured I could probably talk and try and describe the event. As they say, a picture's worth more than 1,000 words in this case. So I'm actually going to show you the water rescue because we do have a video of it.
She was not really swimming, just like flailing to stay above the water.
Some people saw someone floating in the middle of California, and the person eventually made it into the Willamette River, where we were able to intercept them right underneath the bridges of Lion Street and Ellsworth.
You could see the fire trucks come down, and I figured it was a water rescue, so I decided I would pop in and see if I could be of any assistance. I was asked to use my eyes to help see if I could spot her. But I actually spotted her out in the center.
I don't know exactly, but I would probably say she had been in the water 5, 6, 7 minutes. We have dedicated people who spend a lot of their time just for this incident. And it showed. I mean, they saved her life. And so it is best case scenario because the water, like you can imagine, is cold. So our fear is that she would go under and then we would have been able to find her. But you did. But we did. This story has a happy ending.
Good job.
That's great.
So outstanding people skills, training, and equipment all came together at the right time, at the right place in order to save that woman's life. And so tonight, the members of that crew that participated in that rescue are going to be awarded with a unit citation and then also a department challenge coin for their outstanding efforts. So with that, I would request that the following individuals come forward to be recognized. Firefighter Lon Lemka. Congratulations. And we actually had some individuals that just had to leave on a call. So firefighter Rick Griffin was the next individual, but he just left on a call. So firefighter Alex Chang. And firefighter Gabe Anderson. And firefighter Carly Shears also just left on that call. Apparatus operator Kirk Bohard. Apparatus operator Mike Hurley. Lieutenant Jamie Smith. Lieutenant John Zimmerman. Lieutenant Chris Johnson. Battalion Chief Scott Cowan. And Assistant Fire Chief Shane Wooten. And we also had two other fire department members that were not able to make it in, firefighter Clifton Boer and Lieutenant Brian Bordestras. With that, I want to congratulate each one of you on receiving this award.
You know, I remember seeing that video on the Democrat Herald's link, and I absolutely remember just kind of gasping for air. I was so worried that that whole boat was going to tip over. And what strength it took, you know, for the two firefighters to be able to lift up a person, you know, from the water and be able to lift them up to that in that boat without turning it over was just amazing. But that was a very scary, to me, situation. And what, you know, brave fire department, you know, our firefighters that we have is just amazing, because they risked their life. They could have turned over in that boat too. But that was just an amazing rescue, and so fast to be able to, you know, respond from the fire station to be down into the river, launching a boat that quick and rescue someone is just outstanding. So we want to thank you so much on behalf of the City of Albany. Thank you so much for the outstanding job that our fire department does.
Amen.
So thank you. Okay, is that it, Chief? All right, thank you. So next is we have Historic Preservation Month awards. So Shauna? Did the chief, or, nope, he gave the mic back. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Can you all hear me? Again, I'm Shauna Adams. I am a planner with the Community Development Department, and I staff the city's historic program and Landmarks Advisory Commission. I'd like to remind you all that May is Historic Preservation Month, and this month's theme, or this year's theme, is This Place Matters. Each year during Historic Preservation Month, the Landmarks Advisory Commission selects individuals and organizations in the community to honor, to honor for their role in helping to preserve Albany's unique architectural history and architectural resources. Tonight, the mayor will be presenting 3 awards to individuals selected by the Landmarks Advisory Commission. I'll provide a brief introduction for each award and call them up to receive their award from the mayor. So with no further ado, this evening's first award goes to Hasso Herring for outstanding journalism that enhances public awareness and interest in Albany's history and preservation. For more than 4 decades, Hasso Herring has been the voice that challenges community members in local government to consider the issues and places that matter and ask the hard questions. He is commended for his attention, for his keen understanding of the issues, and his care for this town, its history, and its future. Hasso Herring, if you're here tonight, please come up and accept your award.
Thank you.
So this evening's second award goes to Dave and Barbara Sullivan for removing incompatible alterations and rehabilitating their Italianate house at 338 6th Avenue Southeast. Before the Sullivans purchased the house in 2012, it had been designated as a dangerous property for incompatible alterations without permits, extensive work without permits, or its general unsafe and unsanitary conditions. The Sullivans purchased the house and rehabilitated it and restored its former historic character. Extensive improvements were required inside and out. Here's a picture of what it looked like before. If you look up on the screen, and here's what it looks like now. This picture was taken just this last week. You'll notice that the carport has been removed. Some additions in the back that were not safe have been removed. The porches have been restored, and there's a nice paint job now. The Sullivans are commended for transforming what was once considered a lost cause to a premier landmark in the Hackleman Historic District. Would you please come up and accept your award? Yes, this was like.
This was a joint effort, and Letty McClure of Strictly Painting deserves a good share of the credit. So he couldn't be here tonight, but it's important to acknowledge people that did a lot of the hard work.
We really appreciate it. It's not an easy project to do, but thank you so much.
Big difference. So the last award for this evening goes to Rebecca Bond for exceptional leadership in promoting local heritage and preservation. Rebecca Bond began both on behalf of the Albany's Visitors Association and Greater Albany community. Rebecca Bond began working at the Albany Visitors Association over 20 years ago, and her success in that role is readily apparent through her general presence in the larger community at the events that she promotes and helps coordinate. But what makes Rebecca so deserving of recognition is what she does that goes above and beyond in every respect. She has a unique ability to pinch hit, to herd cats, and to make things happen, both for her own organization and all of the other partners that she works with in the community. It would be impossible to count her volunteer hours, the late nights and the weekends that are unpaid, and her contributions are also known to include cookies, homemade cookies. So, Rebecca, on behalf of the Landmarks Commission and everybody that's had the pleasure of working with you, please accept some award and cookies in recognition that all you do.
Rebecca just works countless hours, so many of the events I attend, she's always there too. So appreciate all that you've done for all of you. Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks. Well deserved. Thank you.
So in closing, I'd like to thank our Landmarks Advisory Commission and the other community volunteers that offer their time and expertise and help support the preservation program. I'd also would like to take a brief moment for announcing the winners of the scavenger hunt that was sponsored by the Natty Dresser in celebration of Historic Preservation Month. I believe Oscar has some entries, and the mayor will.
We do. So the scavenger hunt was architectural details around town, and people were challenged to find them. And we have 9 entries that found all of them correctly. And they will the winner will be chosen from this 9 entries, and the winner will receive a $25 gift certificate to the Natty Dresser, as well as a $25 gift certificate to First Burger through the Albany Downtown Association.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, would you like to choose one?
Just pick one. Let's see, Kristen Holke? I don't have my glasses on.
It looks like it says Holly.
Oh, Holly.
Kristen
Okay.
Holly.
Kristen Holly.
So the Downtown Association will contact her and let her know that she's won her prize.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. On that note, I'll let y'all move on to the next item.
Okay, thank you. There was a lot of activities, though, for May for Historic Preservation Month, so there was almost every day you could find an activity that was happening, so which was just fantastic. So, and then with that, we even had the groundbreaking for the carousel yesterday, so picked a good month. But yeah, thank you. Okay, okay, council. Next for scheduled business is a public hearing. And this one is over surplus properties, which is our current police station, and the old armory, or actually not the old armory, the newer armory. The old one is in our historic district. And so,
let me give a staff report.
Yes, go ahead. I'll go ahead and open the public hearing then at 7:32 p.m. Okay.
Mayor, Oregon law requires a notice and public hearing before the city sells property, and that's so that if members of the public think we're making a mistake in any of the sale terms, they have an opportunity to present those concerns to you. You've been aware for some time of the opportunities presented by the county's offer to purchase these buildings. I'll remind you, of course, that the existing police station is going to be surplus to the city's needs once the new station is constructed. This arrangement allows the transfer of the funds now, and the city is not surrendering actual possession for about another year and a half, as I recall. And it's clear the terms are that in addition to the compensation, the city retains a lease right on the building. There is no consideration due on the lease. So the lease terms has things about taking care of the building, but there is no obligation to make any lease payments. So we get to use that facility free of charge. One other counselor brought to my attention a question you might have about value in the transaction. One of the things, of course, to understand is that while the city is giving properties that probably have, in the aggregate, a greater value, the Armory building is burdened by a 30-year lease that pays, I think it's $1 a year. What that means is that there's not truly an economic use to that building, so the city is not really giving away an asset for which the city would expect normally financial compensation. The city in the past renewed that lease with the Armory and with the National Guard, I beg your pardon, for the Armory, out of a recognition of the value that it brought to the city of Albany to have that unit here. And I suspect that 30 years from now, if the National Guard again asked another city council if you would renew that for the same consideration, you probably would. So the action tonight is, if anyone has a comment, you should hear it. If not, there is a resolution on your dais, and I would ask that you adopt that resolution that would allow the city manager to complete this transaction.
Okay, questions of Jim? All right, is there anyone here that would like to comment on this public hearing? Okay, not seeing anyone. With that, then I will close the public hearing at 7:34 p.m. And council, you do have a handed out resolution.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Okay. And any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. All right, next, thank you, Jim, for that. Next is business from the public. Anyone here that would like to bring an item forward? Yes, Ray.
My name is Ray Hiltz. I live at 2748 Foxglove Loop, Southeast Albany 97322. Council, staff, American OPA, I don't know if any of you have driven the streets of Albany lately, but they're in bad shape. I think it's time that you consider putting out to the vote of the people an increase in a city gas tax of 3 to 5% to allow us to improve our streets. Portland has done a 10-cent a gallon that was voted on by the people. So I encourage you to discuss it and bring it to us so that we can vote on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. You know, we have had some conversations been taking place and over for a gas tax, which would be about maybe 5 cents per gallon. So that is encouraging hearing that, because we really hear a lot of concerns about our street condition, and we're not too hopeful that we'll see more funds come from the state level or the federal level. So I think it's kind of about time that maybe we look at getting some other source of revenue for that. But if we do proceed forward, it could be this November's election coming up, but it would be going to the voters for sure. And it'd be nice, Corvallis is looking at it too. If they did it at the same time, then it would be looking more regional that way. So, but no, yeah, thank you. So, yep, I agree, we need it, so, yeah, thank you. Okay, anyone else from business from the public? So, okay, all right. Next, we have a first reading of ordinance, and this is on page 34.
And would you like me to read it and then explain again for the audience, or how would you like to proceed, Mayor?
Go ahead and first read it
All
and
right.
explain it.
This is an ordinance repealing ordinance number 5869 in its entirety and declaring an emergency.
Move to have it read second time, title only.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, second reading.
An ordinance repealing ordinance number 5869 in its entirety and declaring an emergency. Mayor, the only thing I would like to supplement the remarks from Monday is to let you know, I know we don't have a complete council tonight, and I know there's been some concern about this measure. If you're inclined to pass it, I would encourage, there's an additional reason why I would ask you to act tonight, and that is I've got a conference with the court scheduled for tomorrow morning where we're going to be talking about scheduling of arguments on ballot titles and so forth, and I would just as soon not spend the money.
Yeah, Rich?
I'm going to vote for this grudgingly, and only because there are other people here not to vote for it. There is an old adage that you never waste a good angry moment. There's another way of saying it, but what that boils down to is when you're going to make somebody mad, and you have a whole bunch of things that are going to make them mad, you do it all at once, so that it's over. You don't keep doing things that make people mad over and over and over and over. As I said before, on the dais we are professional spear catchers, meaning that when we do things, there are always people who are unhappy about it, and sometimes we get attacked from 3 or 4 different places all at the same time with 3 or 4 different ideas about why that is. What bothers me about this is, first we do it, and we go through the due diligence to make sure we have done whatever it is we're doing, and then we get attacked, and then we turn around and undo it, and I'm sure there will be somebody who says, you know, all we are is a rubber stamp. And then, when it comes time to do it, we do it again, and then it happens all over again. So I'm not a happy camper about it, but I'm going to do it biting my tongue.
I am reminded of the old adage, sometimes it's upon advice of counsel.
Exactly. Okay. Would you like to make a motion, or what would you like to do with this item?
Move for the adoption of the ordinance. Excuse me.
Second.
All right, and any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion carried. Okay, next is adoption of the consent calendar. There's only a couple little items on here, so if there's not an item that needs to be pulled off, then I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adopt the consent calendar as written.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Next is the pipe bursting projects. So this is award of a bid on page 44. And Jeff, do you have a few words to say on this one?
Sure, just briefly, the project came in about where we were estimating, both for construction and total project, and we're recommending award to the low bidder in the amount of $823,425, and the low bidder is K&R Plumbing Construction Company of Clackamas, Oregon.
Question.
Yep.
How much does the equipment cost to do the actual work? Has that been investigated? I mean, we're going to be going through 5-6 years of this program, and this is going to be something that comes up a lot, I'm thinking. If we are, in fact, at some point, it makes sense to actually purchase the equipment. I don't know where we are. I mean, certainly, this one is at a point where that would not be we'd have to stop everything to do it, but I guess I would recommend that we take a look at how much that equipment would cost compared to how many times we think we're going to use it.
We would have to have the capacity of the staff to do the projects, but have you ever explored that, Jeff?
This has been something that comes up periodically, maybe once every couple of years, and it is a big challenge of doing that type of work, is having the staff available to do it. So you can look at it from two different perspectives of being problematic. One is you've got a fully allocated crew that's busy all the time doing what they do, so you'd have to add additional staff, and if you did add additional staff, you probably don't have enough to keep that crew busy all of the day doing the rest of the time. And there's obviously value in people who have a lot of experience in doing this work and have been doing it for a long time and those types of things, but it's been evaluated in the past. It hasn't made sense from financial perspective and from just a personnel management, but Chris may be able to expand upon that if she wanted to.
Chris was almost out the door.
She was. It's her cruise. I don't want to speak for her staff.
Jeff's right. I mean, we might be able to do some projects at a lower cost if we did buy the equipment ourselves, but we don't have anybody who's done that type of work, so there would be quite a bit of a training curve. We wouldn't be able to keep a crew busy doing that year-round, so then, what do you do with them? So it's a challenge. We can look at the equipment and what it would cost and bring back actual numbers for it, but it's probably not the most efficient use of our staff right at this moment.
Are you aware of any other cities in Oregon that actually have purchased their own equipment and do it versus contracting it out?
Well, I know there are definitely some municipalities that do their own cured-in-place pipe repairs. That also is there's a learning curve to go with that. If you do it incorrectly, you have to kind of start all over, and you're in bad shape, but.
Or you have to hire it. I mean,
Right.
people
and
are out there.
You can ruin the whole pipe and have to have it dug up and redone. So there are some municipalities that do that themselves, but I'm not sure about pipe bursting. I'd have to check into that.
I mean, it might be something as when these projects are being done and when you have one of your, engineers out there overseeing it, their project, just see maybe kind of their staff hours towards that, but.
We can do some analysis of what it would look like in terms of unit costs. And the big thing would be, what do you do with them the rest of the time? We only do a handful of these a year.
The only thing I could see is if there was some other municipalities that we just, you form like an intergovernmental agreement that, shared the cost on all that, but, yeah, it's hard to say. But, yeah. Okay. All right, is that it? Okay.
You think you can escape now?
What would you like to do with this item, Council?
Move to approve the award of the bid.
Okay.
Second.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. All right, next is a contract extension, and this is with our city's insurance and risk management services with Barker Ewing's Insurance Company. And Wes, is that you?
Yes, it's by default. Stuart has family visiting from out of town and asked if I would speak briefly to this item. I think the council is aware that we've contracted with Barker Erlings for a number of years. I think you all know that company by the face of Steve Erlings, who's, I think, done a commendable job for us. Recently has been helping us with workers' comp issues that we've been having. So he does more than just deliver reports to us and help us secure good deals in terms of insurance. He also helps try to work with our risk management program. We discovered that his last contract had actually expired and needed to get an extension before we look at our next process for moving forward with an insurance contract.
All right. Any questions?
Move to
All right. Move to approve. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Okay, last is an appointment, and this one is replacing a member that was Keith Underall, that was on the Parks and Rec Commission for quite a few years, and this would be appointing Cecilia Mihalo.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Next is business from the council. So, Rich, anything?
Nothing today.
Okay, Ray?
Real nice process yesterday morning for the groundbreaking for the carousel.
Yeah, it was.
Very impressive, with a huge crowd. The weather was gorgeous, and you can still see all sorts of things happening. I was super impressed to see the amount of timbers that they had salvaged, and hopefully they're going to be able to use those in other places, even some in the carousel, I would hope, so.
Isn't it amazing that they were able to get them out of the building, and they just wouldn't think that those timbers had been used in a building.
What, 12 by 12 or something?
Oh, they were huge.
They were just
Like they were about 12 by 12.
Yeah.
huge,
amazing.
straight cut.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be vertical grain fur, which
Such
big
a
challenge
great-
will be to get all the metal out of them before they saw them.
Oh.
It's about between $15 and $20 a nail if you don't.
Yeah, no, it was just a great turnout, so it's just everybody's very energized over that project, so
It's cheaper than.
proud of it. Okay, anything else,
Cheaper
Ray?
than new blades on the saw.
Okay,
Isn't it
Bessie?
blade on the saw?
Well, I just want to say too about the groundbreaking, it was a great activity, but I just want to say to the people watching that the amount of hours, it did say in the paper about like 180,000 hours of volunteer work, and so I just like to thank them, because without them, I mean, this was a public-private feat, but it was mostly private, and with so many volunteers and so much work that they did, and Dr. Goby's just been terrific. And Wendy, too, I mean, came up with the vision and everything, but I just want to thank all the volunteers and everybody involved in it, because it's going to be something for downtown Albany. You know, like, I mean, I don't want to say it's going to overshadow Salem, but I think it will, because Salem's isn't that great. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that took part. I kept meaning to go and help carve, and I'm sure still can, but just never been able to do it, you know. And I'd like to, but I'd probably poke an eye out or something, you know. So, but that's all.
It's amazing, yeah.
It is.
It's fantastic, yeah. So, okay, all right, Bill?
Nothing.
Okay. The only thing I have is today, actually, we had a community service project going. Key Bank had brought 10 volunteers to Albany Partnership's Park Rose project, and I think when I gave that presentation to you earlier this year, where the fence that, as you come off of Pacific onto San Am, like if you're heading towards town, and there's sort of the blighted area of the fence and the city, we kind of have the city's right-of-way there. So the Key Bank volunteers and also members of the LDS Church, their Just Serve program, they came to help, and we spray painted the fence and painted the garages. They're not fully done yet, but looks so much better, and got all of the old brush that had pretty much a homeless camp had been in there all cleaned out today. So it looks really good. If you come off Pacific onto San Am, all of that area is cleaned up.
You didn't paint it with graffiti?
So, no.
It was real, it was good, okay.
So I painted all day today on those garages, so, but they look so much better. But everybody came out and was wonderful and very supportive. It's just, we're so fortunate in our community to have the amount of volunteers that we have that'll come out and help, just like our big city cleanup on Saturday, seeing the amount of volunteers that come out. But so yeah, so no, I welcome you to drive by it and see that cleaned up section, and we got all the sidewalk totally edged, you know, around, and the cul-de-sac that's in that area that is just sort of this grassy area that seems to get neglected, so we got it all nice and clean today, but yeah. Okay, and with that, so we have, I believe this would be the last council meeting for our two fellows that are visiting Albany, that's been here for about a month now, and so one's from the Philippines and from Malaysia. Did you two want to come up and say anything? Maybe let us know what you think about Albany and your visit this past month. I'm putting you on the spot. If you don't want to, but it'd be kind of nice to hear. I gave him a tour the other day of Albany, so it was about one of my 3-hour tours, or that I give, you know, when we get certain visitors, but we never made it to all of Albany, but they got to see a lot of Albany. So yeah, Dave. Yes.
Yeah, and yes, you are on camera.
Yes.
Hi, Mom. So, my name is Dave. I'm from the Philippines. My last name is Albao. I see it here. So, we just came from Wes's house, and not to make everyone envious, but we cook Asian food for our host and his family. This has been a great experience for both of us, and also 2 other fellows are hosted at there. There's also 2 other fellows in Oregon, in Sherwood, also hosted by the city manager there. And in total, in fact, there's 100. I know there's 99 in maybe in the 4 cohorts. But well, it's a big program because it's not just Southeast Asia. There's also Latin America. These are initiatives by the State Department. So our initiative is called the Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative, and hopefully we were described as emerging leaders in environmental sustainability, in legislative process and democracies in Asia. And today we were just watching President Obama in Vietnam. He had a town hall for Yasili, that's the initiative we're part of now. And it was a 30-minute town hall meeting, and I've watched it today, and he had so many important messages to us, including us here who's finishing this program. In Albany and the surrounding local governments in Oregon, we see a great deal, or we saw a great deal of value, of people valuing your ecosystems, your healthy ecosystem, healthy rivers, sustainable forest practices. I'm sure it's not perfect everywhere, but we saw good models, and we very much appreciate the hospitality of the city of Albany, the city of Adair Village as well, city of Corvallis, and we also went to as far as Eugene. Keep up the good work. I know sometimes it's so difficult to connect to somebody who's from the other side of the world, because my world is so different. It's a small island with no power grid, no wastewater treatment, so we do things very primitively. Like if you ask me how we take care of our septic waste, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. We don't have a pump. We don't have a truck that pumps it out, you know. So we have this. Oh. We have this entire different process to take care of it. Wow. And Oregon is, maybe we're very fortunate to be in Oregon and not in other states. So here we see a lot more responsible practices, best practices in environmental natural resource management. Thank you for that. And what else did I want to say? We also very much appreciate your kind of government, which is very big on transparency. So this is one thing that sometimes, of course, our idea of a government is the one that takes care of the people's needs and concerns, and I think every government tries to do that. You know, our countries are going through different phases, but we've just elected a new president in the Philippines. It's quite an atmosphere when I get back. But this is one thing that I've witnessed here. It's the importance of the freedom of information and how that we need to be transparent to the people we serve. I invite you all to the Philippines and Malaysia. So if ever you get back to, I said this before, if ever you get to the Philippines by any chance, just look for, well, Wes would have my email, and then just tell me that you're from Albany, and we'll make things happen for you in the Philippines.
So nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, you have to fly though to it's not in the capital, so you have to find another plane and a bus to get to where I am.
Yeah.
And when I get back, I will be we will be in DC next week to do a congress. So all the fellows in the United States will come together. We will talk about our experiences with the State Department and in Congress, I think in Capitol. We will present the ideas that we have for our communities back home, and hopefully with the support of our fellow ASEAN nations and also the United States, and how does this contribute to all the goals that we have for the region. And when I get back to my country, I will start a survey, a dive survey on sharks. So I'm going to be diving every day, 4 times a day, and counting sharks, all those species that relate to the ecosystems that sharks are present in. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
We love Albany.
Well, we
especially
really
especially the people. And,
that's wonderful.
And thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah, the one thing when we took our little tour that kind of stuck in my mind was, the two of you were amazed at the dwellings we have that are very low density and large, home sizes, and where we even some of the dwellings we went that we would consider high density is very low for what you guys are used to. And mostly when, Dave, you asked me, well, how many people or people sharing the housing together, where usually it's just one family. You might have a house with one person. and how you said they don't see that in the Philippines, and what's the population of the city you're from?
Where I lived before the island, because the island has zero. I take care of animals, basically, the wildlife. But in the city where I lived before that, and where I worked and had my my life, it's actually the whole metropolitan area has 25 million people, and our trains are weird. You get it's like sardines everywhere. Traffic is bad, and it's a standstill. So here I see urban growth boundaries. We have regulations. So I don't know if it's too late for a city like that to retrofit or fix the streets or whatever. But my decision was to move out of the city because it's just too much.
25 million, think about that for the city. And when I told my sister, well, all of Oregon's 4 million, and they couldn't believe that. What? This whole state's only that? So, wow. Well, it's been a real pleasure having the two of you here, and I really appreciate Wes in his involvement, because I do know it is a lot of time that Wes puts in to make sure that it's a great experience for you. So, but with that, we're just very pleased. Anything, Wes?
Just to say thank you to both Rosidi and Dave for being wonderful guests. It's easy to be a good host when you have people who are just very appreciative and very kind and humble about the visit, who really seem to, my primary role, and I think one reason this was successful, was that I managed to get them to snow on their very first day here up at Crater Lake, and we had a lot of fun with that. But no, it's been this is now, we've had 4 sets of fellows that have come to Albany, and I think it's been great for us as staff to be able to be exposed to some different perspectives, different conditions around the world. We've had the opportunity to learn from Dave and Rosidi presented today at our staff meeting about their communities. Every single member of the staff now wants to get on a plane and fly to Dave's Island. And I'm sure most of us would enjoy a visit to Malaysia as well. There's just some amazing things going on. An absolutely beautiful place, and so it's been just a great program for us.
That's wonderful. So really, thank you. Yeah.
Where's the island? Where is it in the Philippines?
It's in the Visayas, the middle part.
Yeah, we're not going to get too specific
I have
Rich, or other people until the rest of us have a chance to go. So.
I have brochures that on behalf of Rosidi, because he's shy. Rosidi works as a town planner in one of the municipalities in state of Malacca in Malaysia. He's also inviting. You want to come up? Yeah, just so he can.
Hi everybody. I'm Rosidi from Malaysia, Hang Tuah Jaya Municipal Councils, State of Malacca, and my organization I think is similar with these setups. We have local governments in Malaysia, in Malacca. In the total of Malaysia, we just have around 250 local governments, and in Malacca we just have 4. So I have one of the local governance in Malacca, and Malacca is the pioneer states for green states in the Malaysia. So that's why I'm here. And so far for the 4 weeks I'm and Dave here, so many experience we can learn. We have very lucky. We have divides to 2 terms, 2 weeks we go to the sustainability efforts, see how the agriculture, see how the forest and everything about the sustainability, and more 2 weeks we sit down in this city halls, learn how about the administrations. Thanks to Mr. West, very good sharing about how city was managed, and Mr. Jorge, how about the energy management. Because this is the main priority for us in the achieve the which is we can do very good practice in the energy management. So automatically we can reduce our carbon emissions and everything. So I'm on behalf of my mayor. Also, I have a mayor and 24 councillors. Compare here, just 6. We have 24 councillors for 161,000 people. So welcome all of the city of Albany. Make trips or comes to the Malacca. And for next year, on September 2017, we host a UAE, means International Forums on Environmentals. So maybe I will send the official's invitation to the city of Albany through Mr. West, and we welcome at least have a representative from the city of Albany to Malacca and also Malaysia. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's been such a pleasure, but thank you. Mhm.
And I'm guessing that Rosati has never seen a city council meeting of less than an hour in his municipality, given that they have 24 members of their council.
Yes, and one more thing about the meeting, and we normally do in the closed sessions. Means no coverage by camera, no public. So we do just in the closed.
Wow.
So this the new idea should be.
And no public
No public
is allowed.
So means the 24 councillors before the meeting, they must get down with the public and bring the issue to the meetings.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So, yeah. Well, thank you so much. And when are you leaving? Is it tomorrow? When you're going back?
They're going to the coast tomorrow.
Okay.
Friday, they're going to take a very long road trip to Portland by way of Mount Hood, the state of Washington, the Bridge of the Gods, and Multnomah Falls.
Oh, good. You're going to enjoy that. That's going to be a
Great.
treat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
All right. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Your sister.
Okay.
No, we're going to go.
All right. That's it that I have. Wes, did you have anything? Okay. Staff have anything? So, staff, okay. Next, we have a work session would be June 6th, and regular session is June 8th, and I believe next week is holiday for Memorial Day, so everybody have a good long weekend, and with that, we are adjourned.